Welcome back. In the last video, we discussed the considerations that you need to consider when you are selecting OER for online learning. In this video, we are going to consider how you can integrate open educational resources in online learning. After you have verified the appropriateness of the OERs to the learning outcomes, it is now time for the resources to be embedded into the content. If the license allows it, you can change or remix the content. For example, depending on the license, you can crop a picture to suit the needs of your learners and integrate it into the content. In doing this, it is important that you take note of the following points. Number one, if you are embedding OERs in the self-learning materials or any text that will be used for online learning, ensure that the resources are properly integrated to engage learners. This indicates that images, video links, and other resources should be used in such a way that will promote interactivity within the content. For example, if you want to embed a picture or video link within a self-learning material, there's a need to make reference to the resource within the text. No OER should be a standalone within the text. You also need proper attribution by mentioning the source. Look at the example on your screen. This will promote interactivity and engagement as learners are directed to give attention to the picture. Point number two. Another important point in the use of OER in online learning is to provide adequate information to guide learners, especially if the resources are uploaded on the learning management system. When you upload a link or any resource on the LMS, give learners brief information about the content and the time it will require for them to go through it and execute instructional tasks. This is indicated on your screen. An instruction like this prepares online learners to plan and determine when to watch the video and do the class activities embedded in it. Lastly, if you cannot find appropriate OERs for your online class, you can always take the idea from the existing resources and create your own content, either videos, audio, or pictures. In that way, you will be able to cater for the specific learning needs of your learners who are from diverse backgrounds. At the end of the process, you can share these resources as OERs and contribute to the learning community. Now that you have learned how to integrate OERs into the online learning content, it's important that we look at the barriers to effective utilization of OER in online learning. There are several barriers that confront the effective use of OERs, among which are: number one, technical barrier. This includes factors like inadequate broadband access to computer and mobile devices. Number two, economic barrier. This has to do with inadequate resources to acquire relevant software and hardware to effectively select and utilize OERs in online learning. Number three, social barrier. This includes inadequate skills among the people in the society to use technology and other OERs for teaching and learning, especially in an online learning environment. Number four, policy-oriented barrier. This has to do with the lack of recognition by the management or teaching staff to develop and use OERs in online learning. And lastly, legal barrier. This involves the time and expenses required to get permission for copyrighted material if necessary. These barriers should be considered from the design stage with a view to ensuring seamless and effective use of OERs in an online learning environment. In summary, we have discussed the use of OERs and the major steps involved in the effective utilization of these learning resources. We have also discussed the considerations for the effective integration of these learning resources. These steps and considerations have implications for the use of OERs by the facilitator to engage various categories of learners in an online learning environment. Thank you. We have come to the end of the class, and I know you have learned one or two things concerning the use and integration of OERs in online learning. See you next time.